Good evening, everyone. I'm Kathy Pagani. I chair the Tuscaloosa Historic Preservation Commission, and I would like to welcome you to this evening's hearing. Today's date is April 9th, 2025, and the time is 5:00 p.m. I would like to invite my fellow commission members to introduce themselves to you, please, beginning on my right.
Mary Harmon Young.
Sonny Deason.
Jordan Morris.
Wayne Yarbrough.
Sally Davis.
Thank you. And joining us from city staff this evening, we have Mr. Hudson Cheshire, the Associate City Attorney, Mr. Zach Pons, Director of Planning. We have Mr. Jonathan Bowen, newly appointed as Zoning Administrator. Congratulations on that. And Ms. Leota Coyne, Planner. Assisting with audiovisual support this evening is Mr. Kevin Jones. Before we begin looking at our cases tonight, I'd like to go over the purpose of the Historic Preservation Commission and talk a little bit about tonight's procedure. The general purpose of the Tuscaloosa Historic Preservation Commission is that we serve to preserve and protect the buildings, sites, and structures of historic significance in Tuscaloosa's historic neighborhoods. We are governed by Chapter 20, Article 2 of the Code of Tuscaloosa, which includes design guidelines that are posted on the city's website. Our decisions are based on these design guidelines and do not consider use or occupancy. We do consider such factors as architectural style, appropriateness of materials, and how the structure relates to other structures in the immediate neighborhood in determining the appropriateness of the application. An approval of an application requires 5 affirmative votes. If the certificate is approved, please be aware that there will be a final inspection by city staff of approved applications to ensure compliance with what was approved by the commission this evening. So our procedure this evening, this is a public hearing. It is televised live on local cable, streamed online through Facebook, and is being recorded to be posted on the city's website. We ask proper decorum, civility, and respect for others at all times. Prior to this meeting, notice was sent to adjacent property owners, and the public has been notified of the applications to be presented tonight. This hearing is a chance for the applicant to present their case, for the public to make their views known about the project, and for commission members to gather relevant facts about the application before making its decision. City staff will introduce the application. The applicant will then have a chance to make any comments. The commissioners will then have an opportunity to ask the applicant questions about the case. I will then open the hearing for public comment. At the close of public comment, the commission will then discuss the matter and vote on the application. A notarized designation of agent form should have been provided to city staff for any representatives of an application that are not the property owner or an immediate family member of the owner prior to tonight's hearing. Immediate family members, and we define that as a spouse, a parent, or a child, do not have to provide such written authorization when speaking on behalf of another immediate family member. And we ask that you please leave signs in the yard. City staff will be around in the next couple of days to pick them up. So moving on. As the Historic Preservation Commission members have received synopses for the February and March 2025 meetings, I move that we dispense with the reading of the minutes of the same unless there are any deletions, additions, or corrections. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, and we shall vote. Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Deason?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Dr. Yarbrough?
Yes.
And Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Thank you. And do I have a motion to approve set synopses and a second as well?
Second.
I need the motion first.
Motion.
Thank you. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. And we will vote beginning on my left, please. Dr. Davis? Yes. Dr. Yarbrough?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Mr. Deason?
Yes.
And Ms. Young, and
Yes.
I vote yes as well. The commission members have had a chance to review tonight's agenda items. Do any of the members have a conflict of interest as defined by Section 6 of the commission bylaws with any of these items? All right, hearing none, we shall move on. I would like to ask staff if proper notification has been provided for each of the agenda items.
Yes, it has.
Thank you very much. And let's move on to our first case.
Good evening, Commission. First up, we have a case requesting to withdraw. That is HPC 1725. We did receive an email that they would like to withdraw. We did receive this after mailings have been sent, so you will need to vote on withdrawing this case.
All right, so we need a motion and a second as well.
Yep.
All right, do I have a motion to allow this case to be withdrawn?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
And a second. Thank you very much. And we will vote. Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Deason?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Dr.
Yes.
Yarborough? And Dr. Davis? Thank you very much.
All right, moving into our cases to be heard tonight, we have DHPC 0125, AJ Tosiali petitions for a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition of the existing structure and construction of a new mixed-use building. This is on the property located at 505 19th Avenue in the Druid City Historic District, Council District 4. You can see the property from above, as well as where it's situated in its historic district. Here's the subject property, the adjacent property to the north, and to the west and the south. Moving into the proposal, you all have seen this before, it came before you in December. With that, they're looking to demo the existing structure in order to build a new mixed-use building. The height has been reduced by 5 feet 11 inches since the previous application you all saw. The rooftop will no longer be occupied. There is an elevator to access the roof that has been replaced by a staircase that is required by the building code. Here again is the subject property, and just from a couple more angles here, and as well as that block face you can see it's on, and from University Boulevard. Here are some comments submitted by the petitioner regarding the existing structure, as well as that structural analysis. You can see they did note several excessive structural deficiencies here, and you can see that interior condition today. Here is the existing site plan on the left, proposed on the right. Just zooming in here for you. Just quickly going through the elevations here. We have the primary on the west, the south, east, and north. And here's that proposed rendering of what this would look like. And just to compare in more detail here from December 2024 on the left to April on the right, you can see that elevator on top has been replaced with the staircase I described. You can see a few changes to doors. There are also tiebacks on the awning, you can see in the box, as well as a fence removed. Moving to the south elevation, same thing here, just showing that staircase change as well as those new ties on the awning. Same thing here as we move into the east elevation and the north elevation. The material here, no change from when you saw it in December. So we have brick veneer, clad wood windows, aluminum storefront, amongst many others you can see here. Here's some of those material specs. This is just a sample. There were numerous provided in the packet. Moving into our applicable design guides, starting with demolition, then moving into new construction here, starting with original design character, moving into general considerations, doors and windows, form and scale, moving into our general window regulations, design guidelines, window materials, roofs, roofing materials, and fences and walls, and materials. We did not receive any public comment. The petitioner did submit some slides for you all, but do you have any questions for staff?
None right now. Thanks very much. Let me invite the applicant or the applicant's representative to step forward, please. And would you mind stating your name and address for the record, please?
Absolutely. My name is Brandon Bell. I'm with Gresham Smith. I'm an architect with Gresham Smith. Our address is 222 2nd Avenue South, Suite 1400, Nashville, Tennessee, 37201.
Well, welcome to the hearing.
Thank you.
We look forward to seeing your presentation.
Absolutely. This is my device here. All right. Thank you, Madam Chair and Commissioners. It's a pleasure to be back in front of you again today. Let me advance. We were here in December, as staff had mentioned, to present this project for the first time to the Commission, and we were here to listen to your concerns. And we did receive those concerns. The bulk of those concerns were related to the overall height of the project. We took that back to the office and began to try to figure out ways to keep the general program of the building, to make the project perform, but also respond to the Commission's concerns. We understood one of the biggest concerns to be the quite large, obnoxious appendage at the top of the building. And that was mostly caused by the elevator. We were our desire originally was to have an occupied roof deck on this building. And to do so, and to meet accessibility code and the building code, we would have to have an elevator that served that rooftop. So that elevator requires the elevator stop and then a certain size of overrun above that elevator that's part of the way a hoistway works. Also part of that appendage, if you will, was the stairwell to the roof, which is required by code. And there's various ways to do that stairwell, but the general stairwell we had designed provided not only occupant access to what was a rooftop deck, but also maintenance, because we will have HVAC units that are low enough to be below the parapet wall, if you will. I'm on a timer, goodness. Okay, so what we did is we removed that occupied roof, so that eliminated the majority of the elevator overrun. So what you're seeing now is the elevator's gone. There's a little bit of hoistway extension, but it's covered by the height of the parapet wall that you see going around the building. The stairwell is still there, but we modified the mast to slope as the stairwell stringers approached up, so you see the back of it sloping down, to try to minimize that mass as much as we possibly can. There is a door, obviously, at the top of that stairwell to allow maintenance to get access to the condensers and the equipment that's on top of the roof. This is the rear elevation, the east elevation. As you can see, the pop-up here as well. And then the north elevation, which is just a mirror of the south. And then the rendering. So the rendering, as you stand on the street, the closer you are to the building, the less you see of what that mass is or was, and now is much smaller. From this location, you obviously don't see it. And this is actually the exact same rendering we provided to you, other than the things Loda had mentioned, which were the tiebacks that were added. So those were just a minor adjustment that was requested by our owner, by our client. So overall, the change in the height of the building has come down based upon the rooftop appendage. And then I guess the best, I'm going to show you these. You get same rendering as before. And this is probably the easiest thing to see, the before and after. So on the left is December, what you also saw in December, and the after today, you can see the change. 5'11" is the precise dimension that we reduced the height of the stairwell and elevator. Here is the side elevation, left and right. You can see quite a change there of that mass. We're also eliminating downspouts. There's no vertical lines up there as well. And I believe that is the summary of what we've changed. So I'll be happy to answer any questions from the commission.
Thank you so much. Can you just go back to, let's just have a slide up. How about your rendering?
Rendering,
there we go.
yes, ma'am.
Yep,
Maybe this
either
one here?
one.
Okay.
That one would be a good one. Thank you. All right, do we have questions for Mr. Bell?
But basically, the roof, it looks like the roof, actual roof height is the same. But the elevator shaft has decreased in size by the 5 feet.
Yes, sir. This elevator shaft essentially went away. So you will not see it above if you're the head-on elevation, you would not see it above the parapet. Yes, sir.
All right, so I have the big question, I guess,
Yes.
for you. I appreciate all the work you've done in this. One of the big issues that I remember from the hearing when you came in December was the height of the building itself, apart from the elevator shaft also added to that. But it's mostly because you don't really see the elevator shaft from the street, but we see this. And I just want to hear sort of your thought process as you were working on this. There's some nice little details that you've changed on here that I think make it visually less, I don't know, strong, not strong. You soften it a little bit.
Okay.
The gutters, for example. But I just want to hear why you didn't address the height of the structure itself.
Yes, valid question. Yes, ma'am. We worked with our client to try to understand what the appropriate scale of the apartment unit should be. You know, we're using actually a very high-end construction technique on this, using cast-in-place concrete for a 3-story building, which is not common. And that does kind of requires to have some fur-downs to hide mechanical and plumbing systems. You know, we can't put them through the wood trusses if it was a wood frame building. So we want to make sure that we're allowing we're designing premium luxury apartments, so we're trying to make sure we have a 10-foot clear ceiling in many of the spaces. So we weren't prepared to reduce the overall building height in
That-
terms of floor-to-floor height. Yes, ma'am.
Right, and this is the kind of stuff I want to hear. I want to hear
Yes.
what you were thinking about, why you made certain decisions.
Yes.
So let's talk about the building materials for just a moment,
Yes, ma'am.
because I do expect with something like this and location and with the work you've put into it, that you are using rather high-end materials. So tell us a little bit more about, because, we've got this list here, but the list
Mm-hmm.
is kind of cold and doesn't really give us much about the character of what this is going to look like. We're seeing a nice rendering,
Yes.
but tell us a little bit about the quality of the materials and what we would expect in the finished building.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
we get a sense of that height.
Absolutely.
But tell us about the appearance of this thing with the materials you're using.
Yeah, our plan, what we're showing in the rendering is obviously, there's a majority of it's masonry. We understand that the existing building is masonry that's on the site, the historic building. We want to pay homage to that. So we're not utilizing that exact same, we're not going to repurpose the brick. I think we maybe had mentioned that at the last hearing that was offered, or we could reuse some of that brick in some locations. But overall, we don't think the color aesthetic, it is a nice brick, it's a full body color, full bed depth brick, but that color we just didn't feel was appropriate for our design intent. We are generally respecting the size of that brick in our design here. We're not using an utility brick or something that's overly obnoxiously large. We are acknowledging the general scale of brick that's in the neighborhood. Kind of a modular or size brick is what we're showing. But the majority of the project is brick, and it's not a thin, not a faux, not a thin brick and a lick and stick, as some people would call it. It's a true brick. The next material that's probably most predominant would be the metal, the aluminum-clad metal, or I'm sorry, the ACM. It's a composite metal system. So the frame systems around the balconies and the canopy itself would be made of that metal. Now, this is not a flimsy break metal, which is what you would see that moves and what causes issues, what we call oil canning. This is a rigid structure that is a high-quality material that's made to last. Some of the canopy structure may be, like a cold-rolled steel form, depending on kind of the end aesthetic. But our intention, as you can see, there are squared profiles on all the metal pieces. So it would be built of an ACM product is our proposal. And we had a cut sheet in here for a Lucobond. That's a pretty standard ACM product. The wood, we talked about it's actually a synthetic wood product. It's cleverly called knotwood. That's one of the many brands, but it is and it's an aluminum extrusion that has an applied wood material to it. Now we're wanting to do this because of maintenance. I mean, because it's not exposed directly to the weather, but it is outside. This material, we had it with us in December. I did not bring it with me today. It's quite impressive the way the reality or the realistic, how they've designed this stuff over the years. If that is something that the commission is concerned with, we could consider a true wood, like an Ipe, a lower maintenance wood. But our preference, as we have in this application, is a aluminum product with an applied wood finish. It's the best way to describe that.
We're okay with that.
Okay,
We're
I
fine
don't
with that,
remember that
yes.
being coming up as an issue.
Yeah, no, it's not an
Yes,
issue. I just want to hear about the quality of this building, because it's sizable.
Yes.
You've done some things here to kind of reduce the massiveness of it by having those indented balconies and large windows and a number of things here. But I wanted to really get a good picture of what this thing will look like with the materials that you're planning on using.
Okay.
Do we have other questions for Mr. Bell? Well, thank you. I
Thank
have
you.
no more right now,
All righty,
but I appreciate it. Thank
You're
you.
welcome to come back up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right, and we've had no submitted comment. Is there anyone here, I'll open the floor to public comment. Is there anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to this application? Then let me close the floor to public comment and open the floor to discussion by commission members. I really eagerly would like to hear what everybody thinks.
it's going to be really interesting coming from me, considering the fact that I'm the one that years ago brought the Bryant Bank petition before this commission. I have a feeling about the density of this part of downtown and how we're kind of transitioning from the lower, less dense residential area between Queen City Avenue and campus, and as you're kind of ramping back up toward downtown, and this block has always felt a little bit underdeveloped with suburban configured buildings like the one on the corner adjacent to it, and some of the other more residential feeling ones, I think the Salon, and those sorts of things. So I appreciate the additional density on this site. I know there have been concerns from other commission members about the overall height of this. I feel that over time with redevelopment, which I know that we kind of have to look at a snapshot in time and all that, but it feels like additional density fits this location.
And
How
that's,
that relates back to this specifically and this height specifically, I think needs to be consideration by all of the various commission members.
right, right. And I would say, thank you, Mr. Morris, for those comments, because just one block over, we do have residential structures there, so it's a very different feel. I have a little concern with the height. I do appreciate Mr. Bell's comments, though. One of the things that resonated with me, and this came up in December as well, was just about the high quality of the materials that are going to be used in something like this. Can we go to the, Ms. Coyne, can we go to the street view photograph just to take a look at it? This is, because why I'm taking my time and talking about this is that this is a big departure for that little street. All right, so we've got two-lane road, we've got this sort of profile of the buildings right now, and we are proposing something that's, or we're considering something that's quite different there. I will say it's nicely designed and the materials are well selected, but I would really like to hear what commission members think about the height. I don't know, the applicant has addressed the height issue. I still think it's still rather tall, but I am willing to hear comments on this and thoughts on this.
Well, I appreciated the fact that the reason that they had to keep it up there is because the air conditioning ductwork and electrical and all that stuff has to be done in a fur down area. So I understand that, but that's more, it makes me feel a little bit better about it, to be honest with you.
Well, I find that the photograph we're looking at now doesn't show the main building of comparison, which is the three-story bank building right across the way, which makes this proposed building not at all unhappy in the area, as far as I'm concerned. What makes it look odd is the nasty little pizza place.
It's now Mexican. But yes, it's still the pizza.
Well,
place in my
that
mind.
one-story building on the corner, the one-story building on the corner. Well, we do
And
have,
I also would like to say that in relation to the Fitz building, though it is taller, the architecture is compatible with the Fitz architecture, which I find a happy sort of
Yeah,
repetition, let's say.
yeah. I definitely appreciate that. I was, we go back to the renderings. Oh, sorry. I definitely appreciate that too. And if we go back to the renderings, when I was looking at it last night, it was funny because I was explaining to my kids what I was looking at, and they said, look, they took the time to match the inserts on that building that's already there. And I think they did. They tried, to, which is something we talk about a lot with the historic, is how do you blend without recreating or without starting completely new, but make it still look like you're in a historic district. And so I really appreciated that they, I think, tried to blend between both the height of the Bryant Bank as well as the historic buildings that are contributing that are already on that same block.
other comments? I will say, and I still maintain this, I don't think Bryant Bank is a great example of sort of a contiguous structure, because it is across the street, down the block a little bit, and it faces University Boulevard, which is 4 lanes plus the lanes for street parking. So it's a much different view, you know? And, but the other thing that Mr. Bell mentioned that sort of stuck with me as a resident of this area was that they're constructing something of high quality and selecting good materials. They also want in order to do that, to get the apartments that they want with the proper ceiling heights, we have a building that's this height, ultimately. So I'm softening on my issues with the height somewhat.
Well, and I think, though there's a vast difference in architecture between the Bryant Bank and this proposed building, the height of this is going to make the Bryant Bank not seem so odd. Where it
And
is,
there we
I
go.
mean.
Thank you, thank you. Are there any further comments? All right, here we go. So I will move along. Oh, and I'm assuming we discussed the demolition last time, and we were all very clear on that the demolition was fine, so I'm just going to leave that. We have a standing motion to approve DHPC 0125. We did public comment? Yes, we did public comment, yes, thank you. Here we go. We're moving along. All right, AJ Toisiali Properties LLC petitions for a certificate of appropriateness for the demolition of the existing structure and construction of a new mixed-use building on the property located at 505 19th Avenue in the Druid City Historic District, Council District 4, and we shall vote. Beginning on my right, please, Ms. Young.
Yes.
Mr. Deason.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Dr. Yarbrough.
Yes.
Dr. Davis.
Yes?
Yes. Gentlemen, your application has been approved. Now, before you go, let me just say this. There will be a final inspection of, to ensure compliance with what was approved this evening. Should anything change, anything, please see city staff before you proceed. Good luck with your project, and thank you for coming this evening.
All right, Commission, next up we have HPC 2125, Ken and Vicky Grodner, petition for a certificate of appropriateness for exterior alterations to the primary structure. This is on the property located at 27 The Downs in the Downs Historic District, Council District 2. You can see the property from above here, as well as where it's situated within the Downs. This is the subject property, the adjacent property to the east, to the north, and to the west. Looking at the proposal, the petitioner would like to remove the bottom half of a bathroom window that has mold and mildew. They're going to leave that upper portion of the window, add wood trim, and then where that bottom portion of the window would be removed, they're going to put in some cedar shake to match the existing, as well as paint it. The window today is 37 by 30.5 inches. The proposed window will be 18.5 by 30.5 inches. New wood shutters will be added. The existing shutters today are vinyl. Here again is that subject property, and this is the window that we'll be looking at tonight. Just zooming in to show you that window in detail here. These are submitted by the petitioner, just showing kind of that mold issue. This is in a bathroom, just for additional context here. You can see the existing on the left, proposed on the right. They're going to take out, again, that bottom half of the window, add in cedar shake, trim in that upper portion of the window, and add new wood shutters. And that's just to show you in a more zoomed-in view. Here's an example of a similar window nearby. The material, again, cedar shake siding, wood trim, using that existing window, painting, and adding wood shutters. Here are applicable design guidelines for windows, window materials, exterior blinds, awnings, and shutters, materials for those, and standards for rehab and alteration, starting with design character, repairing original features, replacing old features, existing alterations, and materials. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
In replacing the shutters, all the shutters, is that?
My
All the-
understanding is just the shutter associated with this single window. The petitioner can confirm.
All right, thank you. Any questions for city staff? Thank you. Let me invite the applicant or the applicant's representative to come up, please. And we will need you to state your name and address for the record, please.
Of course. Vicki Grodner, 27 The Downs.
Well, Ms. Grodner, so with the issue with the shutters, are you replacing all the vinyl shutters with wood
I
shutters?
hate all vinyl shutters. I would probably replace them all with wood, but that's, I think, probably a separate issue for this board, is it not? So, I mean, I'm happy to put vinyl back on if that's important to you.
No, I just wanted clarification because
Yeah.
in the presentation,
Yes.
we-
Well,
we- we're hearing that wood shutters are going to be put on. Is it just for that one window, or is it?
I'd like for them to be consistent and replace them throughout. We live in only historic homes. That's all we ever do, and so I kind of despise vinyl as an option. But that is what's currently on the house and what was on there when we bought the house 2 years ago.
Okay. So I just want to be clear what you're asking for, because it's not a problem. That, is this application, when you say replacing the shutters with wood, are you talking about all the shutters or just that bathroom window? You could say all the windows.
All the windows was what I would like to do, but what I'm more concerned about is that window getting
Sure.
pelted with shower
Right,
flow.
right.
And creating, potential damage to the building as a whole, as opposed to just, the.
Oh,
the
yes,
lower part
no,
of the window.
we understand that. I just wanted to ask the question about
Yeah.
the shutters.
Yeah, of course,
And set that
yes.
aside, and then we can go ahead and talk about the
Perfect.
window.
That would
Just
be
get
great.
clarification on that. So
Yes.
clarification is that the request is with all of the shutters
Mm-hmm.
to go to wood. Okay, that's perfect. Do we have some questions for Ms. Grodner about this application?
It kind of feels like amateur hour compared to the last presentation.
But yours is very simple. I don't think it appears we have no questions right now, so thank you so much. Appreciate
you.
that. We've had no submitted public comment. Let me open the floor to public comment. Anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to this application? All right, let me close the floor to public comment and open the floor to discussion by commission members.
I think it's a pretty straightforward, request. We see windows like this in the neighborhood. I know we had some of these in Glendale as well with the different sizes, and I always think it's an improvement when we remove some vinyl and add, the hardwood shutters back, so I'm in support. Oh, sorry.
Thank you so much. Any other comments before we move on? All right. We have a standing motion to approve HPC 2125, Ken and Vicki Grodner petition for a certificate of appropriateness for exterior alterations to the primary structure on the property located at 27 The Downs in the Downs Historic District, Council District 2. We will vote beginning on my left, please. Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Yarbrough?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Deason?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Thank you. Ms. Grodner, your application has been approved this evening. Should anything change, see city staff before you move on. There will be a final inspection. Good luck with your project.
All right, Commission, next up, we have HPC 2225. Robert D. Walker petitions for a certificate of appropriateness to paint previously unpainted brick. This is on the primary structure on the property located at 801 Queen City Avenue in the Druid City Historic District, Council District 4. You can see that property from above, as well as where it's situated in its historic district. Here's that subject property, the adjacent property to the north, to the south. Moving into the proposal, the petitioner would like to paint unpainted brick on the foundation of the home to match already existing painted brick columns. The foundation brick will be painted on 3 facades, the front, rear, and south side. This is because the brick varies throughout there, either from patching or addition. On the north side, this is on 8th Street. There's a brick chimney and brick foundation here as well. Both of these will not be painted. This is a quote from the petitioner stating that although there are different bricks on the foundation and fireplace, it is somewhat consistent and keeps the elegance to a home of this age. This is why we would like to paint the mixed match brick and leave the exposed brick on the 8th Street side of the home. Again, here's that primary structure. Here's a photo submitted by the petitioner. You can see they do have painted brick columns already. They're looking to paint that brick here on the foundation that's been identified, as well as on the rear. You can see that kind of mix of brick that they described in their application, as well as on this side, you can kind of see there's a mix of brick going on here. On this north side, this is the 8th Street side, this chimney and foundation brick. As they stated, you can kind of see it's more consistent. They would like to leave this unpainted. The material for this is paint, and here are applicable design guidelines for painting. We received one public comment in opposition to this proposal. Do you have any questions for staff?
Can you go back just for a quick second to look at that mismatched or mixed brick on the different sides there, just quickly? Any questions for staff? Thank you very much. And is the applicant or the applicant's representative here this evening? All right. Hearing that no one is here to represent this case, I'll open the floor to public comment. We've had one comment in opposition to this application, that it would be a mistake to paint the foundation brick on those 3 sides. Is there anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to this application? Then I'll close the floor to public comment and open the floor to discussion by the commission members. And so let me ask city staff for a quick second here. Is the understanding that the brick foundation is going to be painted white as the columns are?
That's my recollection. Let me double check my email while you all are discussing.
All right, thank you. So we have a few little points here. We have some different brick around that foundation, really on all 4 sides. They want to paint 3 sides of it. Street side with the chimney is to be left. It's rather, I don't think we've had a request like this in the past.
I just find the inconsistency with leaving one side unpainted on the foundation unusual.
Yes, and let's look at that. Mr. Bowen, or Ms. Coyne, can we go back and look at one of the sides that is being proposed to be painted, if you don't mind, please? So I do agree. I think painting 3 sides is a rather unusual situation here.
There's just so much about considerations that have to do with harmony and consistency, and the guidelines are filled with that kind of language. So it definitely gives me some pause related to only 3 sides.
Commission,
What did you
excuse
say,
me for
Jordan?
I said the harmony and consistency and language like that is throughout the guidelines. So that's what gives me pause about only 3 sides.
Ms. Coyne?
The applicant did confirm in their COA application that they would be painting the brick to match the existing on the home. We did not get a color. The implication, though, is that it would be white.
All right, thank you very much for clarifying that. So we would have 3 sides painted in a white or a cream color and 1 side that would be left in the natural brick. It's unusual, and I think going back to Mr. Morris's comment about sort of the harmony with the area is a valid one. The other thing is that once brick is painted, you really can't get it back to what it was. I have some reservations on this one because there's such a finality when you do paint brick. And I'm not fully convinced that painting it on 3 sides is the way to go.
And it's not as though the brick on the front of the house is affected by the view on the back of the house, where the most inconsistent part of the brick occurs.
Yes, yes. Is there any further discussion? All right, then. So we have a motion to approve. HPC 2225, Robert D. Walker petitions for a certificate of appropriateness to paint previously unpainted brick on the primary structure on the property located at 801 Queen City Avenue in the Druid City Historic District, Council District 4. We shall vote. Beginning on my right, please, Ms. Young.
No, due to the inconsistency of three sides.
Mr. Deason.
No, I think, although we don't deal with color, so would be happy with that, but yeah, I agree with Mary.
I vote no as well. I think painting on three sides is inconsistent, and I don't think it harmonizes with the rest of the neighborhood. Mr. Morris?
No, for the same reasons that I stated earlier and as the other commissioners have already stated.
Dr. Yarbrough?
No.
No.
Thank you. And so, city staff, would you please let the applicant know that the application was turned down this evening? Thank you very much for the work you do.
All right, Commission, next up, we have HPC 2325. Kim Roberts petitions for a certificate of appropriateness for the construction of a path, stairs, and a fountain. This is in the front yard on the property located at 46 Sherwood Drive in the Sherwood Drive Historic District, Council District 4. You can see the property from above here, as well as where it's situated in Sherwood Drive. Here's the subject property, the adjacent property to the west and to the north. Getting the proposal here, they're looking at several projects in the front yard of the property, starting with adding ADA compliant red brick stamped concrete paths. They'll vary in size from 3 to 8 feet wide. A wooden bridge to cross multiple tree roots will also be installed. There are existing 9-foot wide railroad tie and gravel stairs that access the front yard. Those will be replaced with stamped concrete stairs as well. The legal notice said a fountain, but they will be installing a koi pond just to clarify. They'll have an irregular border ranging from 15 to 18 feet in diameter. That final size and shape is dependent on the location of existing tree roots as they start installing the pond. An internal liner will be overlaid with real stones as well as surrounded with flag stones. They'll also install accent lighting. This will include overhead string lighting and uplighting under trees and along hedges. So here again is the subject property, and here are those railroad tie and gravel stairs that descend into the front yard. Those are to be replaced with concrete. And here's kind of the front yard area we're looking at tonight. And here's that area again from above. Looking at the plan here, you can see those concrete paths, the koi pond, the bridge to cross. And here's that overlaid over that front yard, so you kind of get a sense of where this project is happening. And these are the two side by side. So you can see those stairs accessing that landing with all those paths and koi pond installed here. Here are some examples submitted by the petitioner of other projects they've done in the yard. You can see this is the same red brick stamped concrete they're looking to use here, as well as similar lighting. And here's some additional photos taken by staff out there, just kind of showing that same product. For the materials, again, concrete paths, wood bridge, koi pond of stone and flagstone, and then string lighting and uplighting. Moving into our applicable design guidelines, we have sidewalks and paving, landscaping and plant materials, and exterior lighting. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
We have none. Thank you. Let me invite the applicant or the applicant's representative to step forward, please. Good evening. And can you state your name and address for the record, please?
Kim Roberts, 46 Sherwood Drive.
Is there anything else you'd like the commission to know about your project?
No, this has been quite a year for us as we did all that other work, and so this was our second phase that we were wanting to do. We needed to complete the pavilion and the gardens on that side, and they've turned out just beautifully. And so this area that we're looking at has historically just been unable to grow anything there. You can see it's dirt. But again, as we tried to do in the back, we're trying to preserve all those old trees. There are a lot of very old, 150, 200-plus-year-old trees on the entire property. So we're leaving it over to the left of those red lines. That's a nice stand of grass that grows well there. We want to keep that as an open grassy area. This right side is the one that we have struggled with, on trying to grow anything on, and so that's why we want to just put the pathways in there. The circle is actually the historic roundabout. It would have been a carriage roundabout back in the day. This is a 200-year-old property, and so we want to retain that, but instead we'll make it into like a patio area. We already have a tree there that we're wanting to keep in that roundabout. And then the koi pond, just to add a little bit of prettiness. So the bridge, it's difficult because it's not quite to scale where we have to go, but we have a lot of tree roots on that left side where all those trees, the big cedar trees, so we decided we would just do a wooden bridge over them, because trying to dig down, we would have to cut through so many, we were just concerned it would kill the trees, so.
Sounds like a good solution.
Yeah, and it's the same thing with the pond. That's approximately where it will go, but, until we get in there and really start digging it out, we're trying to avoid, so we'll maneuver, around all that.
Are there any questions for Ms. Roberts? Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
We've received no public comment. Is there anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to the application? Let me close the floor to public comment then and open the floor to discussion by commission members. Seems like a very solid project. It's compatible with what we've approved in the past.
Yeah.
Any concerns? All right. We have a standing motion to approve HPC 2325, Kim Roberts petitions for certificate of appropriateness for the construction of a path, stairs, and a koi pond in the front yard on the property located at 46 Sherwood Drive in the Sherwood Drive Historic District, Council District 4. We shall vote beginning on my left. Dr. Davis.
Yes.
Dr. Yarbrough.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Deason.
Yes.
Ms. Young.
Yes.
All right. Ms. Roberts, your application has been approved. Good luck with this big project. Should anything change, see city staff before you move forward, and there will be a final inspection, but good luck with this. Thank you.
All right, next up, we have HPC 2425, E.C. Lambert Brown, petitions for a certificate of appropriateness for the installation of a sign, awning, and a door. This is on the primary structure on the property located at 651 20th Avenue in the Druid City Historic District, Council District 4. Here's that property from above, as well as where it's situated in the Druid City Historic District. Here's the subject property today, the adjacent property to the south and to the east. For the proposal, 3 parts here. First, removing and replacing the existing steel double doors with fiberglass doors that have windows in them as well. They'll also install a 48 by 80 inch canvas awning. That'll vary in height from 6 to 20 inches as it extends away from the building, shrinking. We'll look at it further in the drawings. Lastly, installing a 72 by 28 inch polymetal sign. You can see again, here's that existing building today, and here's that proposed finish with the sign, awning, and double doors. Here are that material specs on the door. And looking at that awning, you can see that 20 inch at the attachment to the building, and then tapering out to 6 inches just to clarify that height I discussed. And lastly, that sign. Material again, fiberglass door with glass windows, a canvas awning, and a polymetal sign. Here are applicable design guidelines for entrances and doorways, materials, shutters, awnings and blinds, and awning materials, and signs, sign materials. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
No questions. Could we go back and have the slide of the proposed facade up for us, please? Let me invite the applicant to step forward, please. Thank you, staff. And if you could state your name and address for the record, please.
E.C. Lambert Brown, 15 Guildswood.
Is there anything else you'd, oh, and go ahead, please.
Avery Leopard, 59 Cedar Knoll.
Thank you. Is there anything else you'd like the commission to know about your application?
No, it's extremely blank right now. We moved in a month ago, and we're just dying to get the sign up and be active. The original usage of the building was a warehouse for Jack Fodler's business, which was in the Blue House next door. So we've expanded the bookstore to put the used books in this building as well as event space. So to make it more welcoming, we decided that blank black door was not going to do it. So we decided to put a glass door.
It all looks very nice. Thank you.
Yeah. The only other thing is, and I keep waffling on this, because that's my stupid Photoshop work, by the way, so it's, you know, take it for what it is. But I go back and forth with white door, black door, but I think we're going to go actually with a white door.
With a white door.
Yeah,
Okay.
to match the windows.
Thank you. And we don't really consider color, so we're fine with that. Do we have any questions for the applicant? Well, thanks very much. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
We've had no public comment submitted. Is there anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to the application? Let me close the floor to public comment and open the floor to the commission. Very straightforward application.
All the materials are very consistent with our guidelines.
Yes, everything seems fine. Since there appears to be no further comment, we have a standing motion to approve HPC 2425 East E. Lambert Brown petitions for certificate of appropriateness for the installation of a sign, awning, and a door on the primary structure on the property located at 651 20th Avenue in the Druid City Historic District, Council District 4. We shall vote, beginning on my right, please, Ms. Young.
Yes.
Mr. Deason.
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Dr. Yarbrough.
Yes.
And Dr. Davis.
Yes,
Ms. Lambert Brown, your application has been approved this evening. Should anything change, see city staff. There will be a final inspection, and good luck with the project. Thank you.
All right, Commission, next up, we have HPC 2525, Ed and Lisa Dolinsky, petition for a certificate of appropriateness for a material change to the windows. This is on the primary structure located at 1100 Myrtlewood Drive in the Myrtlewood Historic District, Council District 4. Here you can see the property from above, as well as where it's situated in its historic district. Here is a photo of the subject property, the adjacent property to the north, to the south, and to the east. The proposal here, the petitioner would like to remove and replace 10 deteriorated wood window sashes with aluminum-clad wood sashes. There's no proposed change to light pattern or size. The trims and frames will remain wood. There will be one new screen added to an attic window for additional ventilation. So here again is the primary structure. And these are photos submitted by the applicant. The primarily majority, losing all my words here, most of the windows are in these two photos here that they're going to replace. So getting into it here, you can see that attic window, number 100, with its replacement here. And just to note, window 1 here, no screen today. This will be the window that will be receiving a screen you can see on the left. Moving through it here, to confirm here, the petitioner did state that the buttons on the transom window, those would be installed on site. That's why it's not shown in the specs here. It'll be a kind of custom thing. They can further explain that. Lastly, all these windows here to be replaced with the window shown on the bottom here. Again, aluminum clad sash. Moving into our applicable design guidelines for windows, window materials. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
We do not. Thank you very much. Let me invite the applicant or the applicant's representative step forward, please. Good evening, gentlemen. Could you both state your name and address for the record?
My name is Ed Dolensky, and my wife and I live at 1100 Myrtlewood Drive.
My name's Cole Metters. I'm at 12928 North Country Drive in Northport.
Thank you very much. So explain, Ms. Coyne mentioned a little bit about these muntins. Can you just tell us what's happening with those?
Yeah, so
In the transom window?
Yes.
yes, and so you can see that the middle two, it's a simulated divided light. So the middle two are a little bit wider than the two outside, and that's just the way that they line up with the window below them. And so the manufacturer can't guarantee that they'll line up exactly, and so we will apply them in the field so that they line up with the bottom window. That's
Right.
just, and that's the way it's on here. And then there's a line. There's lines on the. I'm not sure if they're up here or not. That they state that they say SDL, and it's just quantity one, and then there's two different ones for the interior and the exterior.
Great. And then for all the windows, just to make sure we've got it clear, they will all have the internal and external muntins matching the light patterns. Yep. Do we have any other questions? We have no further questions for you. Thank you so much. We've had no public comment submitted. Is there anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to the application? Then let me close the floor to public comment and open the floor to discussion by commission members. Very straightforward.
Yeah, we've approved this type of case
we have
numerous times. with
nothing
the
unusual here.
consistency.
So we have a standing motion to approve. HPC 2525, Ed and Lisa Dolinsky, petition for a certificate of appropriateness for material change to the windows on the primary structure on the property located at 1100 Myrtlewood Drive in the Myrtlewood Historic District, Council District 4, and we shall vote. Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Deason?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Dr. Yarbrough?
Yes.
And Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. and Mrs. Dolinsky, your application has been approved this evening. Should anything change, see city staff, and there will be a final inspection. Good luck with the project.
All right, last on the agenda tonight, we have HPC 2625, J. Boatwright, petitions for a certificate of appropriateness for design and material change to windows on the primary structure, exterior alterations, and the replacement of a porch in the front yard. This is on the property located at 1316 Riverside Drive in the Caplewood Historic District, Council District 4. Here's that property from above, as well as where it's situated in Caplewood. Here is a photo of the subject property, the adjacent property to the west, to the east, and to the south. The proposal here, it's multiple parts. So starting off, they're going to repair the cracked stucco to match the existing texture, remove and replace all siding with hardy siding, paint the house and trim, do some landscaping to remove overgrown areas in the front and back driveway, clean up exterior electrical on the home. Window units will be removed, and they're planning to install central HVAC. Moving into the front facade, there is a concrete porch to the west of the front door. It's sloping towards the front door, draining towards the door, causing issues. They're replacing that with concrete. They're also replacing windows near this porch to add a door to be able to access the porch. To the right of the door, east of the front door, there is a portion of the porch that will be removed entirely, and the front door will be replaced with a new fiberglass front door that has a new light pattern. And lastly, all around the house, windows will be replaced, including the sills and frames. Today, the windows are a mix of wood, aluminum, metal. They also vary in light pattern. Proposed windows are composite. The petitioner is also proposing a consistent 4 light pattern based on some original windows we'll look at in the application. Some sizes, locations, and styles of windows are changing, and some windows are being removed entirely, and new doors will be introduced. So big application, we'll look into some further detail here. So again, just a photo of the subject property. Here is a site plan, just kind of getting you more acquainted with the property we're looking at tonight. Here are just some photos showing that stucco and siding, again, replacing all the siding with hardy and repairing that stucco. Here's the paint that was submitted by the petitioner, as well as just a comment on that rotted siding to be replaced and that hardy product here. Moving to the front facade, you can see that front porch. Looking to the left or west of the front door and east, this side to be fully removed, not replaced. You can see this is looking from Reed Street at that porch. You can see I tried to represent it here. It is kind of draining towards that front door. So they'd like to replace that, get that issue solved. So you can see this more in detail here. That patio will be lowered 4 inches to kind of fix that issue. Again, removing that patio fully to the east of that front door. You can see that proposed light pattern change to the front door, the new door to be added to access the patio, as well as proposed light pattern changes for that 4/4 for the upper story windows. Here are the material specs on that porch door and front door. Moving into the rest of the window project here, so you can see 5 and 6, again, everything changing to that 4/4 light pattern. And just to note, windows 1 through 4 are original wood windows that they used to determine this 4/4 light pattern for the home. You can see there are some changes from single hung to casement in the upper story, no change in size. Moving on to, the porch side, west of the front door, windows 7 and 8 becoming casement, and then 33 becoming that new door. 32 is that front door, just again to show you here. Moving to the rear of the home now, 9 and 10 becoming casement, 28, 29 becoming single hung. Number 31 as a door today, they're proposing a window there to match number 30, you can see right next to it. Moving around, staying on the rear of the house, number 31 here, that window proposed to become a door, you can see, to match the front door. Number 26 and 27, single hung. The one window to be removed here, entirely replaced with siding. Same with this window unit, not in a window unit. Moving around here again, 22, 23 becoming casement, a full window being removed here in the box you can see between them. The other 2 windows are just being restored. No changes there. Windows 24, 25, you can see on the bottom here. And again, this is just more zoomed in on that elevation. You can now see windows 21 and 20. You can see those being shifted here. And keeping moving around, number 14 and number 11 window here. There is a door in a box, you can see here. They'd like to replace this fiberglass door like for like. And keeping moving around, just overall a lot of change here, but you can kind of see the pattern, some casement, some single hung as we move around the home here. And again, just to recap, starting on the front facade, you can see those proposed changes here. When it's all said and done, the east elevation will look like this, moving to the back side of the house like this, and the west side of the house here. Materials, again, stucco repair, hardy siding, painting, replacing that concrete porch, adding fiberglass doors and composite windows. Moving into our applicable design guidelines, we have windows, window materials, entrances and doorways, doorway materials, decks, porches, and railings, specifically porches, landscape and plant materials, and standards for rehab and alteration, starting with design character, repairing original features, replacing old features, existing alterations, and materials. We did not receive any public comment. Do you have any questions for staff?
We have none. I think we're speechless. Thank you very much for that very comprehensive presentation. I appreciate that. Is the applicant's representative here, please? And if you wouldn't mind stating your name and address for the record?
Stephen Stroud, 5821 Edgefield Avenue, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, 35406, and I am speechless too.
Well, thank you for attending this evening. Is there anything more you would like to tell us about this application?
No, just overall gist of it. He's trying to make the house match, get matching windows, get same pattern grids, because you can see the house, some of it has grids, some don't. We got metal windows, rotted windows, and he's just trying to put everything back to normal. And with the whole front porch, it is bad. It's cracked, it's busted. It's got tar all the way around the front of the house to try to keep the water out, and as that keeps cracking, and he's just really trying to fix it up to where it helps out with the integrity of the house, because it's actually a great house. It just needs to be loved on.
It does really need some TLC, doesn't it?
It does, and then on the back where he's trying to bring the hardy down, he's trying to hide all the electrical and get all that fixed up and get it up to code, because it's not, it's just
Yes.
outdated.
Well, we appreciate the very detailed materials that he submitted to city staff. It helps us out a lot. Do we have any questions for Mr. Stroud?
The door that's being replaced on the east side that doesn't have a porch or steps or anything, is there a plan for that?
Yes, he's gonna would most likely use a composite, like a decking to go there, because there's actually nowhere to walk out. Somebody walks out that door, good luck. We don't know what happened to there before, what was there before, but there's nothing there now. So it's kind of a jump down or get a rope and pull yourself up.
Thank you. Any other questions? Thank you very much.
Yes, ma'am.
We've received no submitted public comment. Is there anyone here to speak in support of or opposition to this application? I will close the floor to public comment now and open the floor to discussion by the commission members. There's a lot going on, but it's very consistent with what we're looking at here, and it's a house that really could use this attention. It appears to be a real improvement going on here. Do we have any comments or concerns?
Seems like a huge improvement to me, getting rid of the window units and having consistent windows and painting.
All those things, yes. All right, then. We have a standing motion to approve HPC 2625, J. Boatwright Specialty Group petitions for a certificate of appropriateness for design and material change to the windows on the primary structure, exterior alterations, and the replacement of a porch in the front yard on the property located at 1316 Riverside Drive in the Caplewood Historic District, Council District 4. We will vote beginning on my left, please. Dr. Davis?
Yes.
Dr. Yarborough?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
I vote yes. Mr. Deason?
Yes.
Ms. Young?
Yes.
Mr. Stroud, please let the applicant know that his application has been approved this evening. Should anything change in the meantime, he'll need to speak to city staff before he moves forward. There will be a final inspection, and good luck with the project. Thank you so much for coming this evening.
All right, Commission, other business. We've had 4 historic expedited approvals since the previous meeting.
Thank you very much. And with that, the meeting is adjourned.
One of the things that